Hello and welcome to Ingenium Ignis. In the last video, we achieved to display the number of subscribers of my channel here in the terminal by writing a small C# application. Let me bring Rider over here. So what we did is we wrote a console application using a library called Cocona. And what this library does is it supports us doing console applications by abstracting a little bit the process of interpreting CLI arguments and implementing options, and the help menu, and so on. So what it does is here in the main, we just use here this Coconut Light app dot run async, and we give here a type parameter, and that's the YouTube CLI app. And all public methods of this class will be interpreted as if they were commands for the console application. So what we have is here, if we go to YouTube CLI app, so we have here YouTube CLI app, and we have a constructor. In this constructor, we just initialize a new HttpClient. And we also have a public async method. That's the getSubscribeAccount. And it's the only method, the only public method of our class. So in this method, we use the YouTube API, YouTube Data API, to retrieve the subscriber account of my channel. That's the channel ID for Ingenium Ignis here. And using a API key. So that's a API key right here. And for using this API, you just need to send a GET request, right? And the GET request is here just the Google APIs, YouTube version 3, right? YouTube is 3, and slash. Then you need to say which resource you want to access, that's channels. Then you are required to say which part of this resource. In our case is the statistics part. Then we need the ID of the channel and the API key. So that's enough to get the JSON, right? So then in this line here, we just ensure that the response returns a success status code. If it isn't a success status code, then it would throw, and then we'll go here to the catch block, and it will do nothing, right? So if we get passed over this kind of guard here, then we have this content variable. And in the content variable, we just read the content of the response as a string. So that's the content of the response. That's a JSON value. And we parse this JSON using the NewtonSoft.NET JSON library. After the JSON is parsed, we have here this content JSON variable. Actually, it's a terrible name because content was JSON. This is already an object. So I will rename this refactor, rename, and I'll rename it to just to reflect what it is. It's a J object, right? So we get a J object, and after we get the J object, I know, I'll call it channels because it's the channels resource, right? So I will call it channels, refactor name, that's channels. So now after this, I accessed the structure of the parsed JSON to finally get the subscriber count as an integer. After this, I just write the subscriber count, and that is what we get here. So after doing all this work, I have read afterward that there is a better way to do it. It seems that Google has NuGet package for the YouTube API. And I didn't know about this. I've learned it after I had already recorded the video. So I think what I want to do today, and I've written here in Joplin in the to-do list, is use Google NuGet package to interact with the YouTube Data API version 3. So I hope this will be a shorter video than I usually do, because the goal here seems to be easy to accomplish. I just want to do the same thing I'm doing right now using HTTP request and the HTTP client with the official API NuGet. About our requirements, we have accomplished to implement already one requirement, that is it needs to get the subscribe account of the channel. That's all right for now. Maybe here the part of a channel. For now, it's just my channel, so we could get it to have a parameter here so that the user passes the user ID. But yes, I won't mess with this right now. But yes, this requirement is already accomplished, sort of. And the other requirements, I think I will do another video to go to start implementing other requirements. Today, I will concentrate and focus on this here, because I think it could be easy to do. So let me open Firefox here and research a little bit. The first thing I'll do is to search for YouTube Data API v3 .NET, and I think I should here .NET code samples. So the following code samples, which use the Google API's client library for .NET, so let me open this as well, are available for the YouTube Data API. You can download these code samples from the .NET folder of the YouTube API's code sample repositories on GitHub. Okay, so now what I have here is at first one example, but before we do an example, I want to see if they say how to install everything. So easily access Google APIs from .NET. Most Google services have a web APIs that .NET developers can use to give their application access and so on, maybe guides. Setup. Install the NuGet package you want to work with. So I think my question is, what are the NuGet packages that I need? It seems that this is only samples, right? What I think I had found another page that, yes, so this one here. YouTube Data API v3 client library for .NET. The YouTube Data API v3 is an API that provides access to YouTube data such as videos, playlists, and channels. This page contains information about getting started with the YouTube Data API v3 using the Google API client library for .NET. In addition, you may be interested in the following documentation. Browse the .NET reference documentation, read the developer's guide for the Google API client library for .NET, and interact with this API in a browser using this and this. Then sample, then download the library. So here is Google APIs YouTube v3. So let's install this. Right click here, then go to, I think, where is it? Manage NuGet packages. And let me search for Google. So it has Google APIs. I think this is also needed. So let me install this. Google APIs. Then we have Google APIs, and then YouTube v3. Okay, so I think I could, so let me remove this using statement here and put this using statement after the namespace. So, okay. So let me write it now, the new using statement. And that is using, I think, how was the example again? So I think the example is here. There's a lot of usings. Let me see. Let me try this 2 here. I hope they are enough. Maybe not. So using this 2 here. Okay. And what do we need? Sorry, let me go back to Firefox. So this example is to make something with playlists. So main, then they start a new playlist updates. That's this class itself. Then run, then wait. And so let's take a look on run. What run does is has some kind of user credential and client secrets. And okay, it's getting some kind of credential. I think this is this needs like an user data. I will just want to do with public data. Let me go to retrieve my uploads, and this can also be user data because of my uploads. Let me see how they do credentials. I want to, yeah, this is O of 2.0. I want like a API key. So this is with API key, I guess. So here, yes. Okay, so what they do is first they create here a API, a YouTube service. So let's create this YouTube service here. Okay. And the application name is this get typed as string. Interesting. I don't know why this is important, the application name. I think I'll do first a YouTube service just with the API key at first. So let me copy this and go to Rider and start here a YouTube service. Okay. So the base client service, I don't have this. What is this? Base client service. Import missing references. Okay. So I already have the NuGet, so just the service was missing. Let me put it down there, here. Okay. So now everything's okay. Let me put this API key here, where replace me is. So now I don't need the API key anymore, I hope. So just to not break right now, and let me let it here. And I will take the application name away. I don't know what this is for. If I need it, I can put it back there. Okay, but this makes sense, right? We are doing a YouTube service, and this needs it seems a base client service. What is this base client service? A base class for a client service which provides common mechanisms for all services, like serialization and gzip support. It should be safe to use a single service instance to make server requests concurrently from multiple threads. This class adds a special HTTP execute interceptor to the configurable message handler execute interceptor list, which uses the given authenticator. Okay, I don't want to understand this right now. I hope this just works. So what's the next step? Then they say search list request is YouTube service.search.list snippet. So let me take a look. If I do something like YouTube service dot, what do I get? Activities. So here I'm already seeing channels. So channels dot interesting. I have dot list dot update, and I think that's it. So I think what I want is to list, I would say. So let's go with dot list. And what list wants is now the part, as we saw, must be statistics, right? So I think I want to have this here, and have here part. So this is now part. Okay, but what I'm missing is where does the channel ID go, right? And what I want to do maybe is to just put these things here, like here, and actually for everything, I have my initializations here, and the chain ID is missing. So where should I put the chain ID? Oh, copy it so much down. So okay, so now okay, so now I still haven't used the channel ID. And my question is, where should I use it? So what they do is search list request is YouTube search snippet, and then they take this request and do a .q. Really? That's interesting. So let me save this in a variable, right? So that would be my YouTube, my channels request, I guess, or list request. And let me see what I can do with it. Channels, list request. Oh, I can do the ID here, I guess. Repeatable string. Can I just say this is equal to a string? So to the channel ID. Okay, nice. So that's done now. Okay. What would be the next step? I don't think I need max result. So then it already goes to response, right? So yeah, let's try this. Yeah, the response. I would say, okay, response is just await and then execute. So I will take this everything here away and just say my response is equal to my request dot execute. I would say execute as sync, and then I can await it and await. Okay, so now the whole ensure success status code is red. what does this do? It has no explanation whatsoever. Okay. So does they check for successful or call the search list method in order to no, doesn't seem to. Okay, so now I'm on my own. So I think I'll just ignore this for now and just say it's just response here. Result. Search result. So what's this? Okay, search result in search list response items. So, and then I can do for each var channel, I hope. Actually, I don't need this. So because it will return just one channel, right? I have put the ID there. So what I want is var channel equal to response point dot items. I hope. Yeah, items dot first, I guess. So can I do like first or default? Then yes. So first or default. No, I'll do first. And if it doesn't have anything, then there's an exception. Then the exception is ignored with our catch block. So I think it's okay. Then it's just terminates here for now. Okay. It's similar to this one here, I guess. I mean, the error code would be different and not so helpful, but at least the time in which we receive an error is the same. So that takes this away. And then we already have channel. And I think with channel, we can go to statistics and go to subscriber count. And I think this would be our subscriber count. Let me, yes, here and say, okay, subscriber count is equal to this one here. And semicolon there. And then you can just take everything away. And now we have this, or I can do like this. And this is for sure now not nullable. And then we can save, publish, and try. So if this is successful, we should notice any difference here. As I press enter after it's published, it should show 8 again. So I think this is the time out of truth. So I will press enter. It works. So perfect. Yeah, we did it. We have achieved to do the same thing using the API library this time, not just the HttpClient. And what we can do here is just take the HttpClient away. We don't need this. And I think it could be possible to make a property here with the YouTube service itself, but I need to think about this. If it's which way is better, because this is actually a class dependence here, and we are not doing dependency injection, but it would be good if all class dependencies came from the same place, I guess. But I think this will be thoughts for the next video. And yeah, so we achieved this. Let me put a check here, and let me clear the terminal. And yes, thank you for watching. Hope you liked it. Please subscribe to the channel, press the like button. See you next time. Never forget, ignite your brain. Bye.